Shout out to Rob Sanner, who is an excellent brewer, brewed at Boundary Bay, worked for Beach Cat for a short stint. He said something to me in February of last year that really just resonated with me, and it's made me go on this whole, like, you talked about winding me up earlier and talking about affordability. Like, I can talk for a long time about this. He said to me, beer was supposed to be for blue-collar people. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be for the working class. Like, it's supposed to be for the guy who just spent all day working on his boat, and he's exhausted, but he wants to go and sit and have a beer just to unwind. That should not cost you something that you can't afford. It should not be this like safeguarded, kept away from people thing, which I really feel like the craft beer industry is gone to. It's gone to this exclusive like, oh, you don't know about beer? Oh, you don't know about this triple IPA that we soaked in a leather shoe? Like the Danny Trejo commercial? Like, that's not okay. That's not inclusive, right? Yeah. Craft beer, I fell in love with it because the community was so inclusive that you didn't need to know everything, but you had to be open to learning. I love that about beer. I love that beer is this beautiful thing that has existed for centuries, that for history's sake has always brought people together.
Great businesses don't spring up out of nowhere. It takes grit, perseverance, personal growth, and failure to reach the status of an iconic local business. Welcome to Season 7 of the Building Bellingham podcast, where we're bringing you 8 more stories of local leaders and how they are building Bellingham. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Yeah. I'm just going to wait 3 seconds to make sure no one honks and says fuck you in the intersection really quick outside the building. No one crashed yet. Okay, we're good. Welcome back to the studio. Season 7, Episode 6. We got the Beach Cat fellas in here, minus Darren, obviously. Darren's, what's he up to right now?
Darren wanted to be here, but
sure he did.
The Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and the man is a lifelong fan.
Yeah.
And he had to go to the parade. So he was in Seattle today.
I guess we can allow him to take some time off for that, you know.
Can't fault him for it. He has been a season ticket holder of the Seattle Seahawks for over 20 years. Like, the man bleeds the Seahawks.
Like a legit fan. Yeah.
He is not the...
What do you say? How many games did he miss?
He has missed 2 games in 20 years.
20 years. And one was for
colon cancer.
I mean, you got to give it to him.
We'll allow it. Yeah.
It was 1 game too. He's at the next one.
Yep.
So Jake, founder, co-owner, Brad, the master of all the things, marketing.
Yep. Social media, marketing.
All of the above.
All that.
Thank you for coming into the studio. This is Season 7, Episode 6. We're in this incredibly large Spotify sponsored studio here in Cornwall Park in Bellingham, Washington.
Heck yeah.
So thanks for coming in. Wanted to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, what it means. I think that word gets thrown around a lot. Mm-hmm. You guys have had a journey, and it's been a fairly like a hockey stick in a relatively short amount of time. 5 years over the course of the business is, it is a long time. It feels like it's 20 years probably, but it also has
days.
some days.
Yeah.
But for those people that don't know Beach Cat. I know a lot of the people. In fact, most of the people I know Beach Cat, love Beach Cat, go to both locations. But for the people that don't, what is Beach Cat?
Well, it's funny enough because it started with your mama joke. That's how the name came about. My group of friends, when we were 15, were staying up all night, and as 15-year-old boys do, we were trying to keep each other entertained. And so in doing so, we were telling your mama jokes.
Yep.
And one of the jokes was, your mom smells so bad when she goes to the beach, cats try to bury her. And my friend Jerry looked at me and he's like, what the hell, beach cats?
Yeah.
And thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And so the next morning, inevitably, as we all fell asleep, we woke up and we're like, beach cat. Like,
and it never left.
And it was like, we called each other beach cats all through high school. We made sweatshirts. I have the original sweatshirt that I drew when I was 15. I drew the front part and my friend Jory drew on the back part. And he's the artist that drew the original logo for Beach Cat. Shout out to Jory Mayhall. He's one of my lifelong best friends. I've been friends with him since I was 6 years old. And him, my friend Jerry, like we all just kept this Beach Cat energy going for all through high school, kind of into college. And then I was working in mental health directly after college. I went to Western for psychology. And I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable. As the job, it's a really hard job. And my friend Landon said, Jake, you need to find a hobby. And I, being I don't know, 20, it was like 25 or 24 at the time. I said, like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have any hobbies. And his first suggestion was, why don't you try making beer? And I just was like, that's a super, very specific suggestion.
Yeah.
And
Do
I
you
did-
want me to make beer
Yeah.
so you can drink free beer?
I was like, that's really
what
specific.
you're
Like,
putting down.
I
Yeah.
never really thought of that. And so started watching a bunch of YouTube videos, started reading a bunch of online articles about brewing, and just was so fascinated by it. And then I like started going the craft beer scene in Bellingham, started going to places like Illuminati Brewing Company, Cohen, Aslan, Wander, like all these staples in Bellingham, Boundary Bay being one of the big ones. And I fell in love with it. Like Ryan Flood from Menace Brewing is
Ryan.
the
Yep.
reason I am in this beer industry. Like I fell in love with it, brewed my first batch of beer, had my purple binder, was like making the business plan as I was doing it because I was like, I want to do this for a living. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Left my job in mental health. And immediately after I left my job in mental health, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer and had that like happen right away. Did treatment, did, 21 days of chemo, had surgery, did everything to like make sure the cancer went into remission. Then I started to put myself on the path of whatever I do next in my life has to put me on the pursuit of happiness. It has to be what I want to do in life, because I have learned really young that like life has zero guarantees to you. Like you are not owed anything. You're not given anything. You have to live your life now versus waiting. And so I wanted to do something that was going to make me happy, and craft beer was making me extraordinarily happy at that point. And I got a job at Illuminati. I was not paid for the first 4 months of working there. And eventually Ryan and BJ and I mean, they looked at me like, Jake, we're leaving. We want you to go with us. And I was like, oh, yep, I'm ready. Let's go. We left Illuminati. I was with them during the acquisition of Menace in the local public house and learned a lot throughout that whole time, and was with them for, the first 10 months of it, and decided after being there for 10 months that I wanted to go and do it for myself and wanted to go do my own thing. And luckily enough, I found off a recommendation from one of my dad's friends, a spot in Birch Bay that was like, immediately I walked into the room and was like, this is it. This is the spot. This is the location. Called Darren, who I went to beer school with, and told him like, hey, I know you want to open a brewery. I have a business plan written. I have all this like kind of game plan, how we do it. The name exists. The merchandise exists. Like, will you come look at the space? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll definitely come up. And immediately he saw the space. Like, I'm in. What do you want to do? Like, how do we proceed from here? And it's like, oh man, like this is actually happening. And for the next 2 months, as every business should do, is we had an operations agreement drafted between us with a lawyer, and has the outline of what happens if, one of us gets divorced, one of us dies. Like, it's the hard conversation, especially at the start of a business.
Important. Yeah.
Super important, because that has kept our relationship extremely healthy at this point. Like, because I love Darren and Darren loves me, we have always had mutual respect for one another. But that operation agreement literally is like lock and key. Like,
There's no gray.
There's no gray area.
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of gray area in life and in business and like all that stuff. But like, that's the one that like, I don't want to have to worry that if something happens to me, what will happen to my shares in the company. And like, I know Darren will take care of my family, and I know he knows that I'll take care of his family if it comes down to that. And like, that is a sigh of relief for a lot of, me personally, business wise. We opened up the doors August of 2020. We only can have outside seating. It's 50% outside seating at this point. And thankfully, we have a big patio out in Birch Bay. Inside taproom seats 23 people, and we're not allowed to have anybody sit inside. And then we finally are able to have people sit inside November of 2020. And they said it's 25% of your inside capacity. So I was allowed to have 8 people sit inside. And I felt really good about that. I was like, I can't believe it. We finally have people sitting at these tables that have been sitting here for quite some time now. You said a hockey stick, like a slap shot. It was a slap shot to see it go from opening to being profitable within 5 months of opening, during a time where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's pretty
It should
abnormal.
not be it's absolutely abnormal. I do not have a normal experience when it comes to opening a business. And then fast forward to opening in May this last year, it was like the same experience, right? It was walking into a space the first time and just having that feeling of like, this is it. This is exactly what we've needed and what we need to do. And there's going to be hiccups and obstacles, and there's going to be problems along the whole way. But like, this is where
Creating
we're meant to
better
be.
problems.
Yeah.
There's always problems.
I mean, better problems are, we had to hire more people, and we had to grow the space. We run out of beer every year in Birch Bay at that point, and it was like, we're brewing in Anacortes, and a huge amount of their production is being made for Beach Cat at this point. It's like, it's more energy and time and money for us to brew beer in Anacortes, bring it back up here to Birch Bay, then bring it to Bellingham, where we're keeping our canning machine at El Suenito Brewing, and like canning there to bring the cans back to Birch Bay, and like doing all of this extra work, which we were happy to do, and it was the right move to do it during the time. But then it started to weigh on us, and it was like, okay, like something's got to go.
Remove the friction points.
Yeah, and
sure.
we have to figure this out, because this is becoming a problem. It's becoming unsustainable for us to continue to do this way of doing it.
And scale at the same time.
Yeah. And the Bellingham location is a hell of a story, and it's one that I, like, personally, it means a lot to me, and I apologize if I tear up during it, because it is emotional, and it's a very impactful moment in my life. My mom died 11 months into the business of Beach Cat. I had cancer, was told by several doctors I would never have children. My wife and I went to Seattle Reproductive Clinic to look at IVF, figure out how if it's possible, if it's at all possible. And they told us no. And they said that we could try, but that's the cost of IVF, is trying. Like, that's what is the most expensive part of it. It's $14,000 for the first try, and $1,000 for every try after. That's hard to do, especially as a, young entrepreneur that does not have money to go to it. And on the way back from the IVF clinic, I looked at my wife, Caitlin, and said, we'll be parents someday to somebody. Yeah. Like, that's really what it will boil down to. 2 months later, she told me she was pregnant. It naturally happened. We had our daughter, Melanie. My mom got to be a grandma. That was like one of the proudest moments of my life, was telling my mom that she was going to be a grandma. I have the video of her seeing like the mug that said grandma on it, and just her total baffledness, just grandma, just fucking just losing it. Just like one of the proudest moments of my life. And she died 11 months into Beach Cat, and it crushed me. It crushed my life. Like, my dad died when I was 17, and that was hard, but like losing my mom was another level of hard that I've never experienced before up until that point, especially with an 8-month-old baby that's like, starting to pick up grandma, likes to hang out with grandma, still talks about grandma to this day, which is really cool. It makes me really happy too that she talks about her. But that was kind of the start of it, and it was like seeing this cascading, rampant, growing business that needs all my attention and energy, while balancing being a father, while balancing being a husband, while balancing being all of these other versions of Jake that I need to be.
Which apparently there's two versions of Jake and
There's
Bellingham.
several. Yeah.
We might jump into this, or we might not. But apparently, according to, it's not Reddit, it is people in Bellingham have a perception that Jake bought Beach Cat from Jake.
At some point, yes. Probably true.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If you believe this, we'd like to meet you in person, buy you a beer, and debunk this myth. Like, maybe we can get the Mythbuster guys to come in and just hash this out.
I think they
There's
broke
only
up.
one Jake.
They broke up?
I think the Mythbusters broke up.
Well, at least they had an operating agreement in place, right?
That's probably true.
Probably true.
No, but it is weird that is a thing. That, like, it's recently somebody says, like, oh, this new ownership of Beach Cat's, like, I don't know if I like it. And it's like, it's been the same ownership since we opened. I don't know how it's any different.
Yeah.
I mean, I am different for sure. I will openly admit that I have changed drastically in the course of 6 years.
Did you have a beard, not have a beard before or something?
I had a goatee.
Oh,
and then my friend Landon,
I could see where that stretch could happen.
My friend Landon's like, Jake, why don't you grow a beard? And I was like, Landon, I can't. Like, the hair doesn't grow right there. And he's like, have you ever tried? And so Landon's like my life coach at this point, and like has now put me on a path of 2 great ideas: growing a beard and opening a brewery.
Hey, you're on your path to solidify as a 30-something-year-old.
Oh yeah, it's pretty wild.
You're on a podcast. We're drinking a beer. You have beards. I've got a beard. It doesn't get any more in your 30s
The
podcast.
only thing that could make
Match
it
made in
better is if we had beard oil and we were rubbing our faces as the podcast.
Like with
was-
a horse brush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fellas,
I have a
this
horse
is
brush at
getting-
home for my
this is
beard.
getting a
Let's
little weird
pause. Can we take 5 so we can go get this horse brush?
We can always take turns.
Just like the what's this ice skating movie with Will Ferrell?
Oh, Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory.
Yeah.
He has
Chaz
the,
Michael
He has the Chaz Michael. He's
Yeah.
got the special hairbrush in the container.
You need one.
I need one.
I want to jump back to something because this has been kind of swirling in my mind. Bellingham, super established as a beer community, right? Birch Bay, there was no beer.
No beer community.
I mean, you could get beer, you know, a Coors Latte or something up at
Oh yeah, there's. I
so-
mean, there was a handful of beers, craft beers out in Birch Bay, but yeah, nothing really existed out there at that point.
I look at it one of two ways, and I want to hear your opinion on this. The safe bet is to start in maybe is that beer is proven in Bellingham. Not that people aren't going to drink beer in Birch Bay. How do you look at it from the perspective of if like nobody else is around you, you're either doing something really right or really wrong. You know what I'm saying? How did you make that decision? Hey, we're not going to start in Bellingham. We're going to actually start in Birch Bay. And then you made the decision to like establish yourself there and work your way back to Bellingham, essentially.
Honestly, a couple of things happened. So I did look in Bellingham. You know, I looked at a spot that was right by Boundary Bay. That was the old Chuckanut Bay distillery space.
Yep.
It has potential. It could maybe work. And I just kind of felt that way. It was just like, I like it, but like, you know, what separates us? What's the differentiating thing for us in that experience? And I could not answer that question. And then I went to Birch Bay and I looked at that space. And a day after looking at that space for the first time, the Birch Bay Chamber of Commerce reached out to me. It was like, we hear you're trying to open a brewery out here. Whatever we can do, we're happy to help. And immediately dawned on me that like, this is community. This is actual community. This is not the front of people saying that we're like this very community focused like hub of energy and positivity and like all this stuff. This was real. This was like a real tangible thing that I'm now seeing in person. And I was blown away by it. When I was in beer school, Alan Rhodes from Anacortes Brewing is one of my teachers. And he said, underserved markets are places where people wish that existed in their area, but they settle for going somewhere else. So like I started looking out in the county, knowing that there was not a brewery that was super established in Birch Bay, looked at the location, the name already existed at that point. So like looking at the location, the name was already Beach Cat. It was like, this is a match made in heaven. This is perfect. And then I started hearing from all these people in the community that are like hearing about this guy that wants to open a brewery and he's looking, and like they were just generating this positive buzz that I kept hearing about outside of like people had no idea who I was. That alone was such a wonderful experience to go into that with this energy of like absolute positivity. And in truth be told, like that happened in Bellingham too, because when we started with the city of Bellingham telling them where we were going, they were all like, we love Beach Cat. Like we go out to Beach Cat. Like you're the Beach Cat guy. Oh my God. Like we have this, like this space is perfect. It's built for what you guys want to do. And that was such a cool experience for me too, because it was like, okay, like there's a positive reputation with the name. There's a positive trend that like Beach Cat is more than just, we make good beer and like, you know, some people know me, some people know Darren. Like a lot of people know Darren, which is
Everybody
really cool.
knows Brad.
Everybody knows Brad now at this point. And like, I always appreciated the fact, and I tell my staff this at like every meeting, every time we talk, like Beach Cat's never been about me. It's never been about my story and my reason to get there. And like, it is kind of, because that's what a lot of these guys have all bought into, is this idea that we collectively are making this company successful together, and we work together and we share together and we, you know, commiserate together. And like, that is the really cool part of this. It's community. It's community, it's collaboration, it's craft beer. Those are the 3 C's of Beach Cat. It's what does it mean to be a Beach Cat, which is our core values of, you know, to be brave, enthusiastic, authentic, charismatic, honest, caring, ambitious, and a team player. Like, that is what it means to be a Beach Cat. And every single person on this team embodies that, which is amazing. It's amazing that the culture is what is working more than the established beer culture, because we are in a town with a lot of really great beer and a lot of really great breweries. Birch Bay, we didn't have that out there. So it was really easy to like be forgiven for not having every beer be perfect when we opened, But a lot of people were really happy with the product as we were opening, and now they're blown away how much it's gotten better and like how we've developed it, and it's just getting better every day.
What are you seeing as like it's just talking about the Birch Bay location, what are you guys seeing as like what demographic has been magnetized? Obviously there's Birch Bay, and Birch Bay is seasonal. Like there's obviously permanent residents there, but there's also it's seasonal, right? But then you've got basically this Northwest or North County, and obviously people drive up there too because they want to get up to the beach, see some cats, But like what have you seen as like the most common demographic? Is it local Birch Bay people? Is it a mix of like people driving over from Linden, down from Canada, up from Bellingham?
Honestly,
all of that.
Everything.
Yeah. Do you want to answer this?
Yeah, I mean, I bartend as well, so I do all social media as well, but I do bartend a few nights a week, and our demographic for Birch Bay has been a mix of homeowners from Canada that have vacation homes down here. Of course, there's people from Seattle that own homes up there as well. Right. But so it's a mix of that. We have lots of locals that just needed a place that wasn't super loud, super crazy, or just like a regular restaurant. They wanted something in between that gave them a sense of community, a place to hang out, a place to play a board game or two or whatever, and just have a couple beers. Right. Birch Bay kind of attracts everybody, especially with the World Mark right next to us. Yeah. A lot of members of the World Mark travel from all over, right? They're like jumping from Arizona to Hawaii to wherever there's a World Mark, and we happen to have one right across.
What is a World Mark?
World Mark is a hotel. It's like a
timeshare.
It's like a timeshare,
Yeah.
but they have points, so they can use their points at any of those timeshare locations across the world. And we happen to have one right next to us, and it brings in we get people all the time. They're like, "Man, we've never been here before. This is our first time. We're from Seattle, and like your beer is amazing. Like we're gonna tell people to come up here." And so we're getting a mix of the community that lives there, but also the Canadians coming down for their vacation homes, and then of course a bunch of people from the hotel next door to us that are from out of town and stuff. So
do you see a pretty seasonal spike? Do you see is it pretty consistent, or then do you see a little extra seasonal spike in the summer when it's nice?
There's definitely seasonality to the business because it is in Birch Bay and it's a tourism-driven town. But what happened during COVID was Birch Bay became what is commonly called a Zoom town, where people started to move there because the housing was affordable. Like you could buy a house out in Birch Bay for under $500,000 and have a very nice house that is 30 minutes away from Bellingham. That is something that I did, and I was really happy to be a part of that market when it was happening. And a lot of people were buying houses in Birch Bay. So we have a lot more permanent residents that live in Birch Bay that have developed a community at Beach Cat. And a lot of them have said to us, like, we moved here because of Beach Cat. Like, we moved here because we came here. We met regulars like Dave Kranz. We met Jeannie King. Like, we met all of these regulars that make Birch Bay what it is. And they fell in love with it because it's such a warm, inviting atmosphere where people, want to have conversations with you. They want you to sit at their table. We talk about off camera, like Bellingham, the experiences, if there's a picnic table with two people at it, you're likely going to walk past that table.
One person's going to sit right here. And it's like the urinal or the public transit. Like if you don't have to sit next to somebody, you're going to sit as far away from them as possible.
Which is quite the difference between Birch Bay, because it's welcomed in Birch Bay, and that's the coolest thing in the world. Like I love going to Birch Bay and sitting with customers that I haven't ever sat with before, and just hearing their story and hearing why Beach Cat matters to them. It's something that we talk about all the time as a staff is why does it matter? Why does the customer service part matter? Why does the spirit of Beach Cat matter? And it's because you hear stories like, my dad just died and I've been coming to Beach Cat every night to help be around community so I don't feel, the grief that I'm experiencing right now alone. And that's a recent thing that happened. Somebody told my wife and it brought her to tears. Those little things matter to us because that's the reality of life is community saves people's lives. That really does happen. It is such a beautiful thing to see a group of people that come from all different walks of life be able to get together at a table, drink beer, drink cider, drink seltzer, and be able to have genuine conversations and authentic conversations. And that's what we have had in Birch Bay for the last 5 years. Now we're developing that in Bellingham.
It's the same culture in Bellingham too. And I noticed last time we were there, we actually brought our daughter and our 2-month-old, and our 3-year-old loves Dolly Parton because she gets the books every month. And so we get to the end of the book and she's like, I'm like, say, who's that? She's like, oh, it's Dolly. Thanks, Dolly, for the book. And that's like how we sign off on bedtime. And we randomly showed up, and it was a Dolly Parton night, and I saw Caitlin there. And what you were talking about, there's like this like kind of ping of electricity where this other couple was sitting over here and like, oh, you're missing our grandkids, and it was just this like, all of a sudden there was like a group talking, and nobody knew each other, but it felt very warm and welcoming, and I think that's pretty special. And I do notice that because I am from the Pacific Northwest, that there is what we call the cultural Pacific Northwest freeze, where people. No, not everybody. I'm not trying to lump everyone into one boat here, but it is common in our culture in the Northwest to just like keep to yourself and kind of just. Whereas you go to other parts of the country and people are like, maybe it's sun. I don't know what it is, but probably sun. But like I've noticed that when you create a hub for that, it feels warm and welcoming. So, anyways, I just wanted to tip my hat. I did have that experience at the Bellingham location specifically. Yeah.
We're going to be bringing those back too. The Dolly nights, we'll bring those back in the summertime. We just
Yeah.
took a little hiatus during the winter because it wasn't as busy this time of year. But summertime, it's great seeing a whole group of kids sitting there getting a story read to them by Jake over here.
Yeah.
My kids asked me to do it. They're like, Dad, will you read a book? I was like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah. Story time's great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's my favorite time of the day is when I get to read books to my kids. And I do the Dolly. We sign off the Dolly Parton too. We thank Dolly at the end
Thanks,
of the book.
Dolly. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Building Bellingham is a community production of the Bellingham Real Estate Company. We are an independent real estate firm located on Meridian Street. From our data-centric approach to a heavy investment in media and collaboration, we do real estate differently in Whatcom County. Check out Beham Real Co reviews on Google, Zillow, and ratemyagent.com, and don't hesitate to reach out with any questions.
Okay, so let's segue. So we've established Birch Bay. There was one story you told though about cutting into the ground, and this was off camera. And this is kind of what everybody that's listening now will have seen in the promo, but it's about potentially blowing yourself up, and we're all laughing about it.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell that story about cutting into the ground and almost blowing yourself up, and how because this is going to translate into how entrepreneurs think. Right?
Yeah.
This is like how adaptability, right?
For sure. I'll tell the abridged version. Essentially, we were told we got the keys to the building March 1st. March 9th, our general contractor quit on us, basically told us we were making the worst mistake we've ever made before and that he was out. And then a couple of days later, Whatcom County called and said, Jake, the country is being shut down. This thing called COVID-19 is shutting the country down. You have to do what you have to as a business owner to make it work. And I said, Ron, I don't understand what you're saying. Please elaborate on what you're saying. He said, Jake, you need to listen carefully. You have to do what you have to do to make it work. And then he hung up the phone on me. And I was like, cool. And luckily, we had a friend named Mike Eichenberger, who was general contractor, who agreed to sign off on the work that we were doing and came up to help build out the space with us. And on the day where we were cutting the trench drains in the floor for the brewery, we had a big hot saw, glowing red blade, cutting in the floor, and we kept hitting this thing over and over again. We're like, what is that? And so we shine a flashlight down there, and it's cast iron pipes. And I looked at Darren and was like, Darren, there's a handful of things cast iron pipes are, right? Like, there's not a lot of things that cast iron pipes were used for. And we didn't know this at the time, what the building was, but there's a chance it's natural gas. And Darren was like, well, we've gotten this far. And I was like, okay, all right. I mean, we're aware what happens if it's natural gas now at this point, so we keep cutting. And luckily, it was not natural gas. It was actually steam radiant heated floors.
Oh, wow.
Because it used to be the bathhouse for the swimming pool that used to be out in Birch Bay. Our parking lot in Birch Bay is an old swimming pool that was filled in with gravel. And that is what it continues to be, as a swimming pool that was not deconstructed
gotta roll the dice
properly.
a little bit. Steam, gas, what's the difference, right?
I mean, there's a major difference.
I know.
And we basically told each other, like, hey, like, we are this committed at this point. Like, our whole lives are invested in this, and this is what we are doing. So we're just going to take the risk and see what happens. And luckily, we didn't blow up. Thankfully, we didn't blow up. No. My wife would have been upset if that happened, and I'm glad it didn't. But that was kind of the first, like, real sign how committed Darren and I were to making this thing a reality. And it was amazing. Like, I have not looked back on a single day and regretted anything that has taken place. I mean, there's things that obviously I wish would went differently, but I try to live my life with as little regret as possible, because that's all I have is right now. And I don't-
No regrets, right?
No regrets. Not even a single letter.
Not even a. That's a shout out to the We Are the Millers, by the way.
Yep.
It's a good scene. Not even one single letter. Let's shift over to brand. Let's talk a little bit about when we were off camera. We had so much good. Like we have great conversations when we're not even filming content or anything like that. But we had a great conversation around, again, back to that concept of like when nobody else is doing what you're doing and everyone's like, that's a waste of time. Mm-hmm. What? Content? Marketing? Yeah, cool, do it. We're just going to brew beer or we're going to do this. And this is not meant to be any sort of pot shot at any other company here in Bellingham. More so, I want to focus on what you guys did, which was you just did the thing without any sort of validation from, oh, these other people are doing it, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about doing something without any validation, but having the confidence as a human and as a business owner to just go, yeah, we're going to just do this funky, weird thing, or we're going to just try something out and see how it flows.
Yeah. Are we going with me?
We're going with you.
All right.
You're
excellent.
up.
Yep.
Master of all things.
So on the marketing side of things, like back in the day, it was radio ads, it was newspaper, it was print, right? It was all that. You know, as we got older and the internet developed and things like that, you know, everybody's on their phones, right? Everybody's on their phones, and all the cost for these print ads and radio ads is like through the roof.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, but these people are all holding a phone in their hands. Like everybody's got a phone in their hands. They're looking at it all day long. And I'm just like, that costs us nothing to do.
Yeah.
That literally costs us nothing to do, is to put our face on their screen, right? So originally, Jake, when he first started, because I didn't start with the company right off the bat, Jake was doing social media, business owner, brewing beer, kind of doing like everything. And I came along and started bartending like one day a week, and it was very slow,
Swear to God,
slow
if
start.
you act humble in this story, I'm going to call you out on it immediately. Why don't you tell the real story of how we started realizing that you had creativity that you decided to share with us?
Okay.
Just happenstance.
Okay,
So,
late night, I would get off work from bartending, and I would play video games from,
What are we talking?
hockey, because I'm Canadian.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
A little chill.
Yeah,
NHL,
little chill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Little chill,
So I
okay.
would play online player mode against everybody. So everybody on the ice was a different player.
Yeah.
We would just play full games with each other. I played goalie. That was my favorite position. Not in real life. I play on the ice in real life. But in the video game, I decided to play goalie, and I started like clipping big saves and just kind of started posting them for fun, and started building an audience in it. And I showed Jake a couple of the videos, and I don't know if you want to take over from there what you saw, but like, I mean, I was just doing it for fun. So for me, it was more of a fun thing. Like, hey, I just want, just kind of put these out there, see what happens.
He's avoiding what actually happened.
Yeah.
Okay, well then tell me.
What
Why
actually
do I
happened?
feel like I'm a therapist right now?
I know.
Are we shifting gears right
Yeah,
now? Okay, let's shift
do it.
gears. Okay.
No,
How does
what-
that make you feel?
It makes me frustrated because what really happened was I used to draw the signs in Birch Bay.
Oh,
Yeah, now he knows where I'm going with it.
Let him finish.
I have terrible handwriting, so it looked terrible. And randomly, because Brad only worked Wednesdays for us to start, after Wednesday, it'd come in and a new board would be made of this like crazy design of tortoiseshell or a crazy design of catfish Hellas, or like this like brand new board that's like completely
colorful.
colorful. You
art.
can read it. Like it looks so nice. I'm like, who the hell is making these signs? Where the hell is this coming from? And I finally asked Brad, I'm like, is this you? And he's like, oh, yeah. I thought I'd make them look nicer. They look like shit.
I just if something's boring to me, I have to make it better.
God.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, they look like shit. And I was like, okay, like, well, now you have to draw all of them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to make all of
Look
them.
what you've done.
Now I'm the sign
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
But yeah, it started. I mean, you can only really do maybe 3 a night, and I was only working 1 night a week, right? So like we have 3/4 of the tap list was just words, and the other
This
ones were like,
just is
oh,
Brad
this is
over here.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's order that.
Yeah.
So then next Wednesday I'd come in and do a couple more, and then eventually now they're like, hey Brad, can you make a sign on Thursday for this new
Yeah.
beer that's coming out? And it's Wednesday night at 11:45 or
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, I'm still the sign guy.
Still to
for
this
now.
day.
Still
So-
yeah, for now.
But that's how that is okay. Fair. That's true. That's how that started.
That's how it started.
Okay.
And then I was doing social media for like the first 2.5 years. And eventually it was like, I need to hire somebody to do this because I'm not giving it the love and dedication that it deserves.
Yep.
Right? Because the biggest thing with social media and like the ads that you're referring to is consistency. You have to consistently be on it. You have to consistently be doing it and be doing a great job creating original content, creating something that is engaging with customer base. My mom died I had no longer any love or passion for the social media and the marketing aspect of it. And I knew it was going to be detrimental if I could not find somebody that could pick up the slack. We hired one person, it didn't work out. Tried to hire another person, it didn't work out. And eventually Brad started showing me these NHL save clips that he was doing. I was like, you're good at this. Like, you're really good at this. Like, have you ever thought about doing social media? He's like, no, I've never thought about it. It's a hobby. Like, it's just for fun. And I was like, why don't we do this? Why don't you take over the social media, make it Brad's? Don't have it be mine. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to micromanage you. I'm not going to follow you around. Like, I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to trust that you're going to do the job, and I'm going to trust that you're going to do it your way, because like, you're clearly doing it well enough, and let's make it fun and have fun with it. And like, the dude has taken it and ran with it. I mean, we will be in Canada, and then randomly somebody will come up and be like, "Oh my God, you're the Beach Cat guys! Like, you're the beach," and it's like
Denver.
Yeah, we were in
at
Denver, and this like
biggest
other
beer festival in the world, and this guy's like, "Can I take a picture with you?" I'm like, "What?"
No,
Yeah, it's just so random.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
Go away.
And
No,
I
just kidding. Come
I
on.
was like, sure. I don't know why. And he was just like, I follow all your stuff. I love all your page. Like, your page is hilarious. And
God, this
it was
guy's funny. He's
it was-
funny as shit.
It was crazy to see people like just out of the woodworks. Like I'm just firing it off and sending it out. You don't know who's looking at it. You don't know who's buying into it or whatever. And then when you hear it come back to you, you're like, okay, I'm doing the right things. I'm helping grow the company, but I'm also like doing the right things to get there. So.
Right. You know what's interesting is I think through the 90s, we got fed so much bullshit, big box marketing that was just like jamming sales down your throat. It's not the why or the who. It's just totally the what. Like, oh, great deals. And yeah, great deals get you some of the way there, but people connect a lot more with like the value of the core values, the people, like that's, and we're so like
It's
blasted by it all.
and it's an ever-changing thing. Like 10 years ago, beautiful pictures were what people wanted to see.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, scroll by it every chance you get a picture, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for a human connection, a face, movement, video, those kind of things. So you're
Something or like a theme that's relatable, something that's like authentic and just like, oh shit, that's what I think about when I do that thing.
But the problem with what you just said is it has to happen in 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. Because
The first 6 seconds.
The first 6 seconds, you need to capture that exact thing that you just described, and that's incredibly challenging to do. Vine kind of ruined that for everybody. Vine was
TikTok
like,
too.
I mean, TikTok is the new Vine.
Yeah.
But reality was early 2000s, that was the coolest thing in the world is 6-second videos where it has to be very funny in a 6-second time frame or you're not going to pay attention to it. You're going to scroll past it.
Yeah.
That is the model that works, which is crazy that that's what's working. But
Well, it's our
that's
attention spans.
It's attention span.
Yeah.
It's what, like, how do I capture this person's attention in 6 seconds? And honestly, like, that's the funnest part of that challenge is like, okay, what's something really ridiculous that we can do in the first 6 seconds of this video to make it so that somebody watches it for the next 30 seconds? Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of fun doing that.
We just did a few today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
What,
Just wait for the pasties.
Oh, no.
Oh, pasties. All right, tune in. Yeah, tune in live. This is, unfortunately, we didn't prepare for this in the Building Bellingham studio, but it'll be on their Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Kinda likely. Eventually.
go click on it.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, though, too, is like a lot of people, once they shifted over to video, though, it was very polished video.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know, the content that I like is content creators that make fun of people doing really cringy stuff on the internet. Those are great and very interesting to me. But also like realizing that it doesn't have to be this like professionally polished performance. It's just candid video, and the quality just has to be at a certain level or above. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit more about like how do you find that threshold of like, hey, I'm just going to record a slow-mo video of Jake tripping while carrying a pitcher or something.
Yeah.
Like how do you?
Were you there earlier today?
this already happened. No, I was there. No,
Yeah. I think what you're asking is like how do you capture people's attention or that quick or what?
When you're running the marketing, how do you make these? I always ask, Taylor and Cooper and Tiffany these questions. Like, my brain doesn't. It has like slowly like disappeared from social media.
Yeah.
But their brains are like, oh, hold on, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it candidly, and we're only going to do one take.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whatever comes out goes on social media, and that's what people click with.
Well, it's exactly like you said that back in the day, people wanted to be sold with visuals. They wanted to see what your product was. Now nobody wants to be sold on anything because all you're doing is being sold. Every day you scroll through your feed, every 4 posts there's an ad, right? Nobody wants to be sold anymore. They want to be entertained. A majority of the videos that end up being good sales videos are videos that started when you had no idea what the product was that's going to be the finishing. And we saw it in the Super Bowl. You saw it a bunch of times. You're like, where is this going? And then all of a sudden, oh, that's the brand. Okay, oh, that's what they're going for.
Like the 50 cent DoorDash commercial.
Yeah. I mean, the whole
You could order a comb or puff. The cheese puffs.
Yeah.
Or some cognac.
Do you really think I would take this beef to a national television commercial? Yes, you would, 50 cents.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's always been entertainment. People want to be entertained before they'll buy your product, right? When I first started doing social media, I was doing 3 posts a day. And the first one was a product post, the next one was a funny post, and then the third one was an informative post. That was like my base for getting out there, was like I want to make sure that people know what our product is, but they're also entertained and they're also learning something. Now that's evolved since we've had 2 locations, and now we're just trying to make as much content as possible and just trying to, keep ourselves out there relevant, especially in a brand new market in Bellingham where like people knew us in Birch Bay. And there was definitely people in Bellingham that followed us on our Birch Bay page, but now we have a Bellingham page too. And so we're trying to make content that's specific for both locations. Cause we're not just down the road. Like you get some businesses where they'll have like 2 locations really close to each other.
Right.
We have 2 totally different audiences. So we're trying to cater to both of those. Anytime you can entertain them, that's obviously going to lock them in. I try less to sell anybody on any of our products and more on entertaining and like, come see us, like just come meet us.
You'll find something you like.
We're fun people. We're not rigid, are super into craft beer. And if you don't know what a Hellas is, then get out of here kind of thing. Like we're more of like a
Did this also happen today?
Yeah. No, but I mean, we're more of like a come in, try whatever product suits you. I'm going to find something that's similar to that maybe next time you come in and you try that product. So like start somebody off on like a Cat's Blue Ribbon light lager, and then you move them into like a blonde. Yeah. Right. You're like, hey, since you like this beer, try this one too. And they'll try it and like, oh, dang, that's really good. Yeah. Right. Again, you're not selling somebody on a product. You're almost like entertaining them, keeping them engaged, and like letting them know like what you have to offer, and then they get to make the decision.
Yeah. And then you go, here, try this 13% quadruple IPA, and then leave kindly. No.
Stumble right out that door.
Yeah. Stumble right out.
No samples.
Yeah, no samples. Oh yeah, no samples, no flights.
Yeah. No flights.
That's a weird one.
Hey everyone, it's Taylor, producer of the Building Bellingham podcast. Not only do we create a community podcast, but since 2021, we've produced our team's other community platform, Live Bellingham Now, where we highlight new local businesses, try out iconic favorites, and keep you in the know about all things happening in the city of subdued excitement. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Live Bellingham Now, and be sure to subscribe to our monthly newsletter.
Let's talk about Beernomics. It's something that's been on my mind. We kind of alluded to it. I always refer to you said $2 pitcher at the up.
Yep.
I referred to the $4 pitcher. That's how we know there's just a slight age gap, but not much. Not much, because it spiked that, But then, you talk about how craft beer is expensive. Mm-hmm. And we talked about what's happened. It was this huge hockey stick of craft beer. Yeah. I'm using hockey. I didn't even mean to. It was just kind of just.
Thank you. I feel accommodated. Yeah. Thank you.
Flattering. Yeah. But we've seen it happen where it was like, okay, there was your very standard American beer, like I don't know, Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever.
Cat's Blue Ribbon.
What's that?
Cat's Blue Ribbon.
Cat's Blue. Yeah. Well, I was talking about the before we made good, easy drinking beer.
Yeah, you're talking macro beer versus micro beer.
Exactly.
And that's like the definition of craft beer. This I don't know if you guys know about this. The definition of craft beer is any brewery that makes less than 6 million barrels of beer a year. That, to put in context, our first year of operations, we made 58 barrels of beer. This last year, we made just shy of 900 barrels, and that is like crazy growth for us. For you to make 6 million barrels of beer a year, you have to buy other breweries. You have to make beer globally and sell it globally, and that's what the craft beer industry has been fighting since its inception is we are fighting the big guys. We are fighting the Molson Coors. We're fighting Anheuser-Busch. We are fighting Sam Adams. We are fighting these people that are not craft beer. They are not considered craft beer. The issue with fighting people that make beer at that scale is they can make beer for pennies.
Yeah.
So when you go to a stadium, hockey stadium, baseball stadium, football stadium, when you go to one of those stadiums, you buy a can of beer like this, cost $18 to buy it. Anheuser-Busch made that beer for 5 cents. So they are making crazy
I'm not really good at
margins.
math. Is that a decent margin?
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty good?
It's a pretty good margin.
Yeah.
It makes
Mediocre?
sense why it's like
Yeah.
billion-dollar industry versus like, I'm happy if we break over $100,000 a year. Right?
Yeah.
Like that makes me happy. Craft beer is being impeded by that. I was in a conversation recently with somebody that said, well, we can't compete with Rainier. We can't make beer that cheap. So how are we supposed to sell beer that cheap? Well, the way that you do it is not every beer that we make is super expensive to make. If you understand what it costs to make a pint of beer, you can understand what beers are worth making and having them be affordable. Affordability is a thing that, like, I think we're alluding to the conversation is going to be about affordability at some point.
Yeah.
That's a thing that we like live by. Like, so Cat's Blue Ribbon is our combatant way of making a beer that is similar to Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's
Yeah.
similar to Rainier.
Oh, I
It's
didn't make the
similar to-
connection.
which is weird. I can't believe people don't make
I had
the
a hard time
connection.
making that leap. It was
They know about it too. I feel pretty good.
Oh, do they
about
really?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, we have received a cease and desist letter for White Paw, which is our hard seltzer, saying
which are delicious, by the way.
saying that we can keep the name as long as it's isolated to our cat themed brewery with other cat themed beverage names. So
With
like
people wearing cat costumes.
yes, that was part of the contract.
Written by a contract written by cats.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yes.
very like specific thing.
I know. There's a lot of meows in it. I don't understand.
Yeah, meow.
Every sentence ends with a meow.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna do this right meow.
meow.
But like for us, there's always beers that like volume wise, we sell more volume by selling $5 beers. So like we sell a lot of Cat's Blue Ribbon. It's the second best selling beer that we make. We also sell Tortoiseshell, which are hazy IPA, which is $7, which is still under the average price of beer right now.
It's like what,
especially
$8, $9 for
$8 is the
a hazy.
average.
And we have tax included, so it's like
Taxes
$7
included.
to $7.
And that, like, arguably is not the smartest thing to do as a business owner. Like, I could charge a price, but the conversation I alluded to earlier, somebody said this to me in the conversation, and I 100% fucking disagree with it. In every fiber of my being, I disagree with this statement. They said, we will charge our customers whatever we want to charge them, and they'll happily pay it. And I fully disagree with that statement. I do not think people have a luxury to care about your business at this point in time with what is happening in their own personal lives and what they have to face and what they have to do with. I think all of us in this room have collectively had a moment in time where we've gone out and said, I don't think I can go out again for a while. I think I got to stay at
That
home.
one took it. That one
Yeah.
shook me upside down.
That
Yeah.
that shook all of the loose change and all of the money that I had left or I'd been saving or I'd like rainy day funds. Like I can't do that again. I went to a restaurant with my wife recently for a date night, and for a drink and 3 entrees for Caitlin and I to share, it was $128.
Yep.
And I'm like, honey, like we can't do that again for a while. Like I just can't. We can't afford it. It's not an uncommon thing to hear that at this point. So for us, affordability means creating a place that has tremendous experience, that has like you come in there, you have a great experience. It's a memorable experience that makes you want to come back again. And John Taffer, there's science behind that. If you go to a place and you have a great experience once, your likelihood of going back, the science says is 33%, right? You're 33% likely to go back to that place you had a good experience. After 3 great experiences at a place, the likelihood of you returning again after that third experience is like 70+%. That is what makes customers regulars. That is what makes customers sustainably coming there year round versus that one time during the summer where there was something happening that their friends happened to invite them to. We look for 3 great experiences when we offer that at Beach Cat. Like every time you come in, the consistency is like we try to give you a great experience. We try to provide you with like, hey, you didn't like that beer? Bring it back. Like don't feel shy about doing that. Like that's one of my least favorite things I see in Bellingham more than Birch Bay is people will leave a full glass of beer in a bin that they didn't like, and they'll leave. Bring it back, because we don't want you to have a bad beer. We don't want you to have a bad experience. We will sit there and try other beers and other things to try and find something that you like, because it's about the experience. If you think that it's like you just wasted money. In my eyes, that's a waste of money that you just did, versus making that little bit of uncomfortable conversation be like, hey, like, something about this beer, I just don't really like it. Can I try something else? Absolutely. We're happy to do that. Like, we're happy to do those kind of things, because it's an affordability thing. You want to have an experience, but you don't want it to cost you, right? You don't want it to have to cost you something, or have to make you feel bad about how much money you spent that night, or how much it costs to go and have a couple beers with friends after work. Cat's Blue Ribbon is our way of combating that. We have multiple beers that are $5 all the time on the menu, and that's during the summer too, which people are blown away when they go and they're like, those 2 beers is $10, and they're like,
Oh, I get people all the time. Like, is it happy hour or something? I'm like, no, we do this every day.
Yeah.
It's just
every day
happy.
we have a $5 beer. It might be, something different each time, but we always have at least Cat's Blue Ribbon as a $5 beer. So if you want to come in after work and have a couple beers with your coworkers, because that's what it used to be. Let's go get a couple beers after work. Yeah. Right? But nowadays, that couple beers is going to set you back $20-$40 versus coming down and having 2 beers for 10.
Yeah.
So,
and shout out to Rob Sanner, who is an excellent brewer, brewed at Boundary Bay, worked for Beach Cat for a short stint. He said something to me in February of last year that really just resonated with me, and it's made me go on this whole, like, you talked about winding me up earlier and talking about affordability. Like, I can talk for a long time about this. He said to me, beer was supposed to be for blue-collar people. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be for the working class. Like, it's supposed to be for the guy who just spent all day working on his boat, and he's exhausted, but he wants to go and sit and have a beer just to unwind. That should not cost you something that you can't afford. It should not be this, like, safeguarded, kept away from people thing, which I really feel like the craft beer industry is gone to. It's gone to this exclusive, like, oh, you don't know about beer? Oh, you don't know about this triple IPA that we soaked in a leather shoe? Like the Danny Trejo commercial? Like, that's not okay. That's not inclusive, right? Yeah. Craft beer, I fell in love with it because the community was so inclusive that you didn't need to know everything, but you had to be open to learning. I love that about beer. I love that beer is this beautiful thing that has existed for centuries, that for history's sake has always brought people together. That's what I want to see the craft beer be again. That's what I want the beer industry to be again, is this homogenous place where people can genuinely feel a sense of community. They can feel a sense of belonging. They can feel a sense that they can go there and have a great experience without even having to like beer at this point. Like, we have hop water, we have hard seltzer, we have cider, we have slushies, we have wine.
Slushies are good too.
I mean, that alone has been responsible for a major part of our success, is we offer variety, because that's the spice of life, is variety. And craft beer, the beautiful part of craft beer is that it doesn't necessarily need to be all about the beer. It needs to be about the customers and what the customers appreciate, which is that there's something there for everybody.
Yeah. Part of the affordability talk too, like all of our events, I wouldn't say all, but like 99% of our events are free. Yeah. We try to do as many events for free as we can so we can bring people in. So our music, our trivia, our music bingos, nights, we want to have people come in. And the only time that we really charge is when we bring a third party in and they're leading the class, right? Yeah. Like we do a charcuterie night up in Birch Bay, and we have a third party who comes in. She runs the whole class and does that. So obviously she has to make her money and everything. But we just want to be a hub. We want to be a place for people to come, have a good time, enjoy affordability, and not have to pay $30, $40 to walk through the door, right?
Yeah. You had also talked about some collaboration with El Suenito as well. Mm-hmm. One thing that I've gotten to know about the beer community is I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it seems like if you work together with other people in the beer industry, everyone's going to do well. Yeah. If you don't, and you really ostracize yourself, not necessarily separate yourself from a branding perspective, but don't work together and collab and share. Is that how you feel like this industry is, or do you have a different perspective on that?
I mean, it's a super loaded question, and one that I can't,
60 minutes, gotcha.
One that I can't answer to the fullest extent that I'd like to, but as simply as I can put it, collaboration is what the craft beer industry has touted for as long as I've been a part of it. Yeah. I love Bellingham because of the collaborative effort that these breweries have working together. I mean, we have great friends at breweries across town. That is the most beautiful part of this industry. It's one of the few industries that exists where that is a thing, where we work together, and it's not like we don't have trade secrets. We don't have like, oh my God, like there are some breweries of like trademarked yeast and like they don't let anybody else use that yeast. But for the most part, you can give 10 brewers the same ingredients and they'll make 10 different beers. That is a really cool thing to exist in and to have. The craft beer industry in Bellingham is working on bringing back that collaborative spirit and that collaborative energy. And I think that's like the key to the success of everybody in town at this point moving forward is us working together to show community, because this is where it could spill into a long conversation, but like we live in a society right now that is desperate in need for community and desperate in need for belonging and desperate in need for people feeling like there is a safe place to go, or that they can be seen, that they can be heard, that they can be found. That's what the craft beer industry is. That's why it's been so successful. It's always created that community spirit, that community space. That's what makes Bellingham beautiful. And like, you don't have to love craft beer. You don't have to love beer. I firmly believe that. What most people find an appreciation for is the fact that they can walk into a brewery and they can sense that there is a community atmosphere and it's community spirit. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see all the other breweries do too. And El Sueño is a perfect example. What a beautifully inclusive place where they are truly themselves. You talked about this earlier, like what makes social media work? What makes marketing work at this point in time? It's authenticity. Mm-hmm. It's realness, because the world is full of fakeness. It's full of all of this manufactured ads, polished. Like, what would be better? A polished ad where you just see the same person saying like, I'm Billy Mays here with ShamWow or whatever.
Yeah.
Or would you
drink
rather
tough beer?
Yeah. Would you rather see somebody genuinely, authentically just being goofy and being themselves? That's what works for us. We're just goofy. We don't take ourselves very seriously. Something I learned in college when I was young was, life's too serious to be lived seriously. And I still believe that to this day. And that's why we have fun being goofy. That's why we have a fun place to be, because like people see us and we're just awkward and weird. And, I try my best to talk to everybody, but I also am like in the tunnel most of the time as a business owner.
It's hard to shift back and forth between the two brains.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I get home and I go, give me like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to just like
Turn
maybe
into
go
dad.
sit in the shed for a minute. And then I'll come back and be like, what's going on, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
But before
Yeah.
I'm just like a robot. I'm like, beep, boop, you just.
Part of the collaboration thing too is like it's not just limited to breweries. We love to do collabs with local businesses. We've done ice cream with Mallard. We have done recent one we're doing one with Wink Wink soon.
Yeah, Wink.
So like we're looking for any kind of collaborations
Hardware
with any
sales.
sort. Oh, hardware sales, yeah. Oh, by the way, that's going to be a fun video for that one.
Oh,
We,
maybe a Live Bellingham Now beer.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it for sure.
Taylor's mouth is wide open. This is Miss Bellingham over here.
Yep.
She won't. She's doing the cut over there. But no, a Live Bellingham Now beer, I think, would be something that we could talk
Could
about.
definitely put it in the works. Yeah. So.
Jake's like, cut.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
all
kidding.
about it.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
all
we did.
about it.
Yeah, we did hardware sales ales, is what they call it. And
We did a feature on them.
that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Stemma, Menace, North Fork, and then us as well. So this is the second round now that we've done Claw Hammered, which is our hazy IPA we do with hardware sales. And then we might have a really fun beer bong making video.
Can I be a part of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I know how
So-
to. I know how to do that from my years of studying.
Heck yeah. No, we tried to with that one. I mean, again with the collaboration thing, we're like hardware store beer. They don't really go together, but let's make it figure out how to go together. And like, man, they got all the tools to build a beer bong. So
That's brilliant.
Let's just.
I can see why. He was saying, "Oh, I don't know where this all came."
If somebody wants to offer this man more money than I can possibly pay him, they should, because
Yeah.
I will vouch for him all night and day. He's an amazing marketer. Honestly, Beach Cat would not be where it is without him. It would not be where it is without TJ, Rick, all the people on our team, like Caleb. I could sit and tell everybody's name, but like legitimately, that is the spirit of Beach Cat. That's the spirit of collaboration. That's the spirit of community. Like being.
Hey everyone, it's Taylor, producer of the Building Bellingham podcast. Not only do we create a community podcast, but since 2021, we've produced our team's other community platform, Live Bellingham Now, where we highlight new local businesses, try out iconic favorites, and keep you in the know about all things happening in the city of subdued excitement. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Live Bellingham Now, and be sure to subscribe to our monthly newsletter.
With like-minded people that care about each other and uplift each other and want to have a better life for everybody around them versus the better life for me. And like, this is the saying of the year for us right now. It's we, not me. And like, that is something that we live by, and we have to, because that is what is missing right now. That is what people want in life right now, is a place where they could just be themselves. That's not a big ask. I don't feel like that's asking that much.
Well, you guys have created it.
We're trying.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress every day, just like all of us are.
Yeah.
I mean, the social media side of it too, it sprung out of just needing to get people to come to Birch Bay too.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it was like everybody we asked, we'd say, hey, have you been to Birch Bay or Beach Cat? I mean, have you been to Beach Cat? And then they'll be like, oh, it's too far to drive. And you're like, 20 minutes? I'll sit at traffic lights in Bellingham from one end of town to the other end of town for 20 minutes. You could drive north on the I-5 with no traffic and come see us.
No stopping
Right.
point.
And
Yeah.
so we just had to find a way to attract customers to come to us, and we did that through humor, and we did it through entertainment, and it worked for us, and it's going to continue to work for us because we're still doing it. So
I want to throw one more thing in the mix here as we're kind of like rounding out. One of the coolest things, when I'm thinking about, my own business, how involved it has been. One of the things that was really cool, when I was there on the Dolly night, Caitlin was also there. It's a family business, right? And if someone's, needs a break, you'll jump in and serve some. Like, tell me a little bit more about this. You started doing all of these things, and you slowly found people that had the capacity, were better than you at these things. You slowly kind of fired yourself from these things, but you're still willing to jump back in and you know how to do it. How important is that as an entrepreneur or a business owner to be able to like, oh shit, this is kind of chaos right now. I need to jump back into this. That mentality.
I think that's, as a business owner, that's something that I've always prided myself in, is I always wanted to be the boss that I wanted to work for. I openly tell my staff I will be any role in the company. I'll be the janitor. I'll be whatever is needed, because that's my job. And like, luckily my job now at this point is I get to be the support. I get to be
And the maintenance guy, right?
Well, maintenance guy too. Yeah. And like, we have several people that can be the maintenance people at this point. But like the it's really funny. I started to laugh when you asked the question, because my staff actually got me the Charlie Brown 5-cent psychiatric help sign that's hanging in my office now. And it's because like, if you're having a problem, work-related, life-related, you just need somebody to talk to and just like see you for a moment, that's my role. That's the role I love playing. I love that part of my life. This is like what we've talked about in the past. Like, I don't want to do Beach Cat forever. I don't want this to be forever. My vision of the company is that someday it won't need me in the capacity that it does now. I would like to go be a counselor. I would like to help people through grief. I would like to be a service to somebody that needs it because of my experience of life. Mm-hmm. That's what I get to do with my staff, and that's like the thing I pride myself in the most. But it means that you have to show up when they come, right? Like, when they come into that room, or they need you to bartend for them because they just need to take a minute away. They just had a negative customer interaction. Like, this happened this summer, and I laugh really hard because it's the most Bellingham thing I think I've ever experienced bartending. And I maybe am not doing a good job telling this story, but I think it's hilarious. So I bartend, somebody's like, Jake, I just need to step away. I have had a line out the door for 3 hours. I just need to go take a minute. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'm jumping in. My first customer interaction, my customer service kicks in, and I'm like, hey, like, what kind of beer do you like? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I was like, you know what sounds really nice? Drinking this beer, Catamaran. It's our summer ale, Catamaran summer ale, on that catamaran that's out in the water outside. And I swear to God, he looked me dead in the eyes and said, that's a trimaran?
It was his boat?
No, it was not his boat.
Like,
the guy who lives on that boat loves coming to Beach Cat. And like, I turn around and poured a sample of it and was like, here you go.
You took one for yourself, and then you're like, okay.
I was like, oh my God, that is
Yeah.
indicative.
There's 3 holes.
Especially
Yeah.
right when we're in a shipyard with a bunch of boats. I mean, they know
I-
everything about
I
boats,
could
and here
not
we are
believe
just
it.
trying to, relate with somebody.
I talked to Vince, the guy that owns the trimaran that's parked out in the water, and he's like, "Well, technically, it is a catamaran, so like you weren't wrong, but like, I'm sorry." Like, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's like the most Bellingham thing that could have happened right now." But I was followed up with a really great customer experience. We're like, "I never even heard of this place," and I told him the story of like why the mural is the way that it is. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Ivan did it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he does awesome
He's
work.
an amazing
that
human
was
being.
awesome.
Yeah,
and
super great human.
The funny thing about that is the story of asking him to paint that mural was simply because his daughter's birthday was May 19th, and that was my mom's birthday. And that's
Yep.
the official open date of Beach Cat, is the day that, my mom was born. And that bonded Ivan and I so closely together because, like, I told him why it mattered to me and, like, why the layout of the space, actually, most people don't really know this, but it is Birch Bay during a sunset. That is what the mural is.
Oh, okay.
And that's like our homage to Birch Bay. It's why the light covers have crabs on them, because the slogan of Birch Bay is "No crabby days in Birch Bay." We went above and beyond with intent to make little homage and like pay tribute to Birch Bay for what it has been for us and what it has provided us with. And like, the goal was never to come here and pretend like we were hyper local to Bellingham and pretend that we've been here this whole time. And like, yes, we have people that live in Bellingham. Yes, we have people that, love Bellingham. I love Bellingham. Birch Bay feels like home. Birch Bay is this community that, like, the moment you walk in, people cheer because Dave walked through the door, right? Or
We get people who come in and they come in because they know there's going to be that group of regulars almost every night. And it might not be the same ones. It might be 3 or 4 different ones that night versus this night. But you can walk through those doors and somebody is going to be in there.
Yeah. And our bartenders will literally have your beer ready to go.
Yep.
Yep.
Dave will roll in the parking lot.
I got a
Poor
dog
Dave.
treat for
Your
Piper.
ass cheeks are still imprinted in the chair.
Yep.
Plop them down.
Yeah, I got a dog treat for Piper, and I got a tortoiseshell hazy right there for him. So.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because Vince, who's become a regular in Bellingham, we know what beer he likes when he walks in. Cider.
Dry humor.
We know what he likes.
Yep,
It's the moment he walks in, it's ready for him.
Yep.
And like, that part is so cool. I love that part. I've seen Colshan do that for years. I've seen other breweries like
That's
that.
actually how I got my job. Just so if you want to frame a reference, Darren, who's the other co-owner, not here today, used to come to Boston Pizza where I used to work at. And as soon as I saw him walk into the doors, I had that IPA that I knew he liked right on the counter. And he said to me, he's like, "One day when I open a bar, you're gonna be my bartender." And I was like, hey, all right, sure. I've heard this.
easy.
I'm like, I've heard this before, sure. And then I moved to Birch Bay and saw this brewery was opening up. I actually didn't even know Darren or you were in charge of it. I was like, I'll just go check it out. Sure enough, Darren's there, and I'm like, "Hey, Darren, what are you doing here?" He's like, "Gonna get you a job."
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
That is how it happened.
yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up with the polar bear plunge.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was very, very visible.
Put some tears on our eyes because we didn't break the record. Or
This is
how
what
do
I
you-
heard, but I also have my own opinion. I think Guinness World Records needs to loosen it up. I mean, if people are
for
freezing their ass off in January in water,
Yeah.
I understand. I understand rules are rules. But tell us
follow.
about that whole experience. There was a world record. It was something like 3,000.
Yeah,
3,300 we needed?
Norway, 2 months prior to us attempting that record, broke the existing record, and it was like 31.99.
Yeah, it's almost 1,000 more people.
It was
And did they
1,000
all
more
fully
people.
submerge? Did everyone listen?
No.
So they didn't. They broke the record, but they did it in the same way that like.
I mean, they followed the rules, right? Like, they followed the parameters. There's a lot of parameters. They're like, the chamber, I do not think, knew all of the parameters that needed to be followed. And I don't think it was their fault that they didn't know this. Guinness just started to add stuff to the plate as it started to come up. So, like, there was one that got added, and this is the one that everyone thinks what got us disqualified, was that you weren't allowed to wear shirts. You weren't allowed to wear T-shirts. You had to, if you had to wear a bathing suit specifically. You could not wear a T-shirt, costumes, anything that was not a bathing suit
suit.
specific.
That would make you potentially 2 degrees warmer.
yeah.
for sure.
And then also make you drown.
Which is super weird.
the same time.
It was a super weird left field, like, where is this coming from? Realistically, that is not what got us disqualified. What got us disqualified was there was RFID scanners that you had to walk over that were on the beach that a whole section of people did not walk over. They went the long way around to get on the beach and went around them because they didn't want to wait in line. People were telling him, you're going to get disqualified if you don't go and walk over these things.
Just
that
a count.
It was a count because all of our race bibs had chips on them that would count that number. Then you had to have up to your waist submerged in water. There's lots of video evidence that showed that not everybody followed that.
Yeah.
So in a record, in any Guinness record that they attempt, if 10% of the people are disqualified, the record's off. We had the ability to attempt it 3 times, so we could have gotten everybody off the beach, told them all, hey guys, that one didn't count. We're gonna do it again. Get 5,000 people to do that, right? Yeah. Like that's an almost impossible feat, especially when you have people that volunteered the day prior and did not know all these rules, did not know the full extent of what was happening. The Chamber did a masterful job with an event that they did not realize was going to explode to be what it was. We broke that record. Easily we broke the record. Oh, yeah. We had 4,900 race bibs picked up. So there's 4,900 people that were there that day to
in
get
the
a
water.
Race bib
Another
in the water.
Probably double or triple that on the shore.
Yeah.
So
and
it was a big day.
We weren't even supposed to have anybody watching on the shore. They were saying like no viewers on the beach during that time. Nobody listened to it.
Yeah.
That was the reason that we got disqualified. Birch Bay knows that we broke that record because the turnout was amazing. It was the best January 1st we've ever had as a company. It was one of the coolest experiences that we've ever had. Like, I genuinely, like, the exposure it gave Birch Bay was phenomenal. That's the best part of it. And honestly, the Chamber has told me they do not want to do it again. I do not blame them because it was a lot of work to do and a lot of money. It was 40.
I was just going to say, Brad, here's what you could do. You could just do it every year and like fail it and have a great January, you know. Oh, whoops, we just failed it again.
Well, it was
try to get
like,
I mean, the videos alone were like hundreds of thousands of views, so I was happy.
Oh, we were happy with everything.
That was great. I mean, just like you said, the exposure to Birch Bay, because now you don't have people like. I mean, there's still gonna be people who run into like Lake Padden, but like I'm just saying, like you're gonna have these like big community events like we have in there, and you see it up in Vancouver too, like English Bay. You get a whole huge group that runs into the water. So yeah, it's going to become a new place for polar plunge to happen, and it already was. I mean, we talked to some people who've lived in Birch Bay for like their whole life, and they're like, 20 years ago there was 8 people doing this. Like, I mean, it's been a 43 year.
It was the 43rd year of it,
right? So it's been a long run, but like it's never been what it has been until
bunch
the
of
last
beach
5
cats
years.
jumping in the water.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to help grow Birch Bay's.
I fully switched
events,
because I am a polar bear in real life.
You stuck around and hung in.
I was in the water for like almost 20
rules.
There's also a video of that.
I was
with a flyover
around.
by a plane too.
That was pretty rad.
That's awesome.
No, it was.
Well, congratulations
it was
unofficially.
Awesome.
I mean, actually, I'm going to say officially because I know Guinness is one of our sponsors, and you know they need to recognize what they're missing out on here. But I wanted to say thank you to both of you for coming in, and also for people that are listening. Again, the majority of the people know where you guys are. They know where the Birch Bay location is. They know where the C Street location is down the water. If you're not aware, up on Birch Bay Drive, like on the main drag.
Right on the main drag.
Right on the main drag, right looking out. The water's right across the road. Beautiful spot up there. A great place to go walk it off, you know, and maybe jump in the water if you want.
Oh, yeah.
And also the C Street location, which is awesome. Both, you get a different experience,
so
but the same vibe, which is really cool. You guys are on Instagram, TikTok. Sorry, I'll let you plug this because this is your area. I was going to say.
Yeah, we are. We're on
Vine.
We haven't gone back to the future.
MySpace is coming back. Right?
Oh, they are.
I've heard.
Tom's sponsoring.
Tom firing it back up again.
Yeah, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Looking over his shoulder.
Hey, if I can get back to coding again, I'm in. Let's do it.
Tom, thanks for listening.
We are on.
We're still your friends, Tom.
Guys, I'm trying to talk.
Sorry. I'll go back to therapist. Jake, take a minute.
You're going to need to take a second. No, you can find us on Instagram. We have a Bellingham page. We have a Birch Bay page. We try to keep those very separate. Every once in a while, we do a little cross promotion, but for the most part, we keep events very separate on there. Facebook, same thing. We have both. If you ever hear the word Southpaw, by the way, that's kind of our nickname for a beach cat in Bellingham. Northpaw would be our Birch Bay location. But if you want to know our food truck schedule, if you want to know our events schedule, I have those all pinned to the very top. We get phone calls every day asking what food truck we have, and I have it as many places on the internet as you can find it.
Yeah,
and
people still call and ask.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we'll still answer it, but I mean, I try to put as much information out there as possible.
You could send those people. There's a website called Let Me Google That For You.
Yeah,
Have
right.
you seen that one? It's super passive aggressive and super. It's disgusting, but it's hilarious. Someone asks you a question that can easily be searched on Google. It actually sends them a video on how to Google what they're asking.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I'm going to utilize that now.
Our goal was always to become the new Wendy's. So
Yeah, the trolls of the internet. All right. Season 7, episode 6, Beach Cat. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. We're loving
thank you, Leo.
collaborating with you guys. We're looking forward to collaborating more with you guys in the future. Thanks for sharing the story.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Boom.
Building Bellingham is a community podcast produced by the Bellingham Real Estate Company. Our producer and audio editor is Taylor Beal, and videography is by Cooper Hansley.